Neighbors in Montecito heard glass breaking from the Sussex mansion. Meghan is extremely upset when Charles chooses a coronation date on May 6th. Hello friends, welcome to the breaking royal news about the notorious hypocritical couple Harry and Meghan Markle on our Kate Middleton and the Queen News version 2 channel. Now, we knew that Harry and Meghan were going to figure out some reason to act upset whatever the day that King Charles chose for his coronation. Now, in theory, any day could be possible for the coronation. Practicality means that a date that's over a bank holiday is going to lessen disruption and make a lot more sense. And there's also consideration of the political diaries of the world leaders. For example, they cannot choose a date that's going to clash with a world summit. The other date that could have been possible would have been June, but still, that would have been the same date as the late Queen's coronation, which wouldn't have been okay. And I'm sure Harry would have whined about that too. The coronation is a pretty big deal if you haven't noticed. There are many factors to consider in settling on a date, including the weather. Now, it's not fair to anybody, guests or the public, to expect them to be exposed to bad weather conditions. So in London, winter would be absolutely out of the question. So the Archbishop of Canterbury will be performing the ceremony, and there will also be other representatives of the church and the state. The Houses of Parliament, of course, will have representatives there too. And the Prime Minister and leading citizens from the Commonwealth will also be there. There are a lot of diaries to be consulted before a unanimous "I'm free" could be heard at the planning meeting. I'm sure it was absolutely exhausting. And I'm sure they were happy when they finally settled on a date. I don't think any person at that meeting would have called a point of order, but the 6th of May is Archie's birthday. I cannot imagine something like that happening. So I'm wondering why exactly Harry and Meghan think they have a right to be upset about the date. The only thing I can really come up with is they believe it is King Charles III himself who picked the date, all by himself, without asking anybody else what their opinion was, because he believes that Meghan is too dark-skinned to be there, and that she would rather be at home with Archie anyway. They insist that King Charles does not like Meghan just because she exists, whatever. And they probably also believe the king talked with his other daughter-in-law at the date and that she agreed with his opinion. Meghan and Harry seem to seriously believe that Catherine, for whatever reason, is jealous of Meghan, and that she would not want Meghan to outshine her. I don't think there's going to be a problem with that, though. It's the lies that Harry and Meghan have told that are the big problem. They think the public wouldn't be smart enough to figure out that they are full of it. I know that Meghan Markle makes a big deal out of her race, but she's the only person. To look at her, you wouldn't even know that she is black. And the UK has never done this whole single drop of blood thing, which the US is apparently still pretty focused on. Now, Meghan has some black heritage, just the same as I have Scottish and British heritage. Meghan knows that by inflaming people about fake racism in the royal family, she is jumping on a bandwagon that seems to be a self-evident truth to people in the US who still view the royal family as these racists and colonizers. At the end of the day, we know what Meghan is. She's a race baiter. She feeds off the negative and nasty experiences that people have genuinely experienced at the hands of racist idiots, and then she tries to transpose them into her own life and make them her own. It is such a joke. I mean, when exactly is it that Meghan's skin color was ever a problem? As a child, at her expensive private school, at her pricey university too, and at her home where she was pandered to endlessly maybe. Or maybe it was Doria. Maybe her mother Doria so helpfully pointed out to Meghan that objections to her behavior didn't have anything at all to do with the fact that she acts awful, but instead all of those objections were coming from racism. Meghan has done so much to divide people over this issue of racism. She's disgusting. And then she tries to claim that she's the voice of the oppressed and that she's a role model for young girls. I mean, all I can say is, you know what? Most children are a lot more interested in new sneakers, studying for their exams, planning to get themselves a good job, and eating their body weight in candy. They don't care one bit about this over-the-hill woman known as Meghan Markle. And also, Meghan Markle's a liar. Does she really think that's going to inspire young girls to be like her? One viewer weighed in, commenting, "First, I'm black and respect King Charles and the monarch. Meghan never identified as black until it suited her agenda. She is a fake and a narcissist, period. The monarch embraced her. However, she didn't appreciate it. She wanted to be a famous celebrity top dog. Her jealousy and devious ways are her mojo. Karma will come to her." Furthermore, Harry and Meghan don't have a right to be angry about any decision that the royal family makes. The only thing they have done over the past 2 or 3 years is trash the royal family ever since they moved to California, and even they've admitted that they don't see themselves ever coming back to become working members of the firm ever again. Now, allegedly, they have these 2 invisible children, Archie and Lily. Archie was born in the UK, and if I'm remembering correctly, there was only one occasion on which the baby was photographed with the Queen and the Duke of Edinburgh, and those photos were released to the media. Now, Lilibet was supposedly born in the US, and there is absolutely no photographic evidence that she ever met the Queen. Now, there have been a few leaks to the media in which it's claimed that the Queen did get to meet the baby, but didn't want to have any photos taken by Meghan and Harry's photographer, that she didn't want those photos taken and then released to the press, but that's really all we have. There are no stories from Buckingham Palace about that meeting ever happening, only these little leaks. So 2 adult members of a family decide that they don't want to continue working for the family company and they want to live their lives overseas. All right, that's fine. They made a decision though, and that is that. So the fact that the King's coronation is set to take place on Saturday, the 6th of May, that shouldn't be interesting to Meghan and Harry whatsoever. It's really none of their business. They've already said they wouldn't come unless they get an apology from the King and from Prince William too. We know that apology is never going to happen. So you know what? Meghan and Harry just stay in the US. Nobody really cares. Now, by announcing to the whole world the conditions under which they would agree to attend, they have destroyed any chance that they might be formally invited to participate in the coronation. So there's really nothing to stop them from just staying at home with Archie Fishel and celebrating his little birthday with a couple of balloons. After all, they try to make the headlines on any date that is auspicious for a royal family member. So how convenient will it be that the coronation is going to upstage any hopes of Archie Fishel taking over the headlines? One royal expert commented, "When it comes to Harry and Meghan Markle, it's really all about do as I say and not as I do." Now, the reason I say this is because the couple has been whining and complaining that King Charles III's coronation will be held on May 6th, which happens to be Archie's 4th birthday. Let's just think about this for a minute. When it comes to Archie, he has only met his grandfather once, and presently the family is ripped apart in shreds due to Meghan's constant narrative of being a victim and constant claims of being mistreated by the royal family. This means there is no chance that Archie would be spending his birthday with his royal relatives, so it shouldn't really matter. Furthermore, King Charles III didn't purposely pick the date because it was Archie's birthday, as Meghan and Harry seem to think. This is going to be the event of the century, and a lot of things had to be taken into consideration, as well as hours of planning before a decision was made in regards to what should be the best choice as to when the coronation should be held. The expert continued, saying, "Now for the clincher to this story, and the reason why I say that Meghan and Harry believe in the motto, do as I say and not as I do, is because last year on Archie's 3rd birthday, Meghan and Harry spent the day with Marcus Anderson and Nacho Ferreras playing polo. Archie was left home alone, probably with Doria. So it looks like, as usual, Meghan and Harry are just trying to find something to be upset about. They treat the public as though we are complete idiots and thinking that no one would notice that Archie actually spent his 3rd birthday without his family anyway. And what about you? What do you think about Meghan's aggressive attitude after receiving information about the King's coronation? Let us know what you think below in the comments section. We hope you have found this video helpful. And don't forget to leave us a like, share, and subscribe to the channel if you enjoy it. Thank you so much for watching our newsletter, and we hope to see you in the next videos. Bye-bye now.